It's time to get out the shark repellent bat spray and get ready to crash land on a foam mattress convention as we're going all the way back to the groovy and psychedelic swinging days of the 60s to explore Batman the movie.
This may prove to be a most memorable night.
Released in 1966, Batman the Movie was a theatrical extension to the 1960s Batman TV show, starring Adam West and Burt Ward as the heroic Caped Crusaders Batman and Robin. For this epic adventure, the dynamic duo must face against their deadliest foes ever, the Joker, Penguin, Riddler, and Catwoman, whom join forces in an evil scheme to kidnap the world leaders of the United Nations so they can hold the world to ransom. All while our evil foes fly around on giant umbrellas and have a plan to destroy Batman with an exploding octopus. In this movie that is absolutely ridiculous and cheesy, and we all love it for it. Greetings, citizens. I am Batmint. And today, it's time to leave the dark angst of modern Batman behind as we explore the more colourful and comical Batman of the 60s by looking into 10 things that you didn't know about Batman the movie. So, let's check it out.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Number 10. The movie was meant to predate the TV show. Funny enough, when ABC were first coming up with the notion of creating a TV series based on a comic book character, they first had their sights set on Dick Tracy and Superman, but they discovered that they couldn't get the rights to either. However, they could obtain the rights to Batman, so Batman it was. Series developer William Dozier wanted to start the series off with a theatrical Batman movie, with the movie acting as a pilot, so the movie can come out and then fans would see it and then be intrigued to continue to watch further episodes of Batman and Robin on TV, with Series 1 following the movie's release. Very much the same way the George Reeves Superman started, which started off with a theatrical movie called Superman and the Mole Men. However, 20th Century Fox didn't want to invest in a big movie production. They thought it would be much more easier and cost-effective to have shared production costs with the TV show production. So at that point, a theatrical Batman movie was out of the question. But it wouldn't take long for the studio to change their minds. Number 9. A newfound bat phenomenon got the movie greenlit. So production had started with the Batman TV show, which was funny and campy with plenty of in-jokes and innuendos for the parents to enjoy, and thus the Batman TV show was a big hit. As Adam West puts it, in the 60s, Batman was one of the 3 Bs, made up of the Beatles, Bond, and of course Batman. So this showed 20th Century Fox that the public had an appetite for the wacky adventures of Batman and Robin. And what further sealed the deal was at the time there were screenings at a New York theatre of the 1949 Batman serial called The Batman. So why let someone else have all the fun when 20th Century Fox themselves could put Batman on the big screen? So the movie was greenlit, with it being released after the broadcast of the first season of Batman. 2 months to be precise. In fact, Robin actor Burt Ward called the movie the cherry on top of the sundae, as the series was already out and a big hit, so the movie could really capitalise on the success that show had generated. Number 8. The script was written in just 10 days. Script writing duties for the Batman movie were given to Lorenzo Semple Jr., who also worked for the TV show. Incidentally, in later years, Semple Jr. would write the scripts for other movies like Papillon, King Kong 1976, Flash Gordon, and the unofficial James Bond movie Never Say Never Again. Despite its comic book style playfulness, many see the Batman movie as the first time the character explored issues of the Cold War, what with the use of Parallax missiles and war surplus missiles. So yeah, who would have thought that despite being a goofy, oddball, wacky interpretation of Batman, that it actually explored something as serious as the Cold War? The script was written in just 10 days, with Leslie H. Martinson coming on board as director, as he had previously directed 2 episodes of the Batman TV show. Number 7. The original Catwoman wasn't aware of the movie. In the Batman movie, most of the cast from the TV show return, including Cesar Romero as the Joker, Burgess Meredith as the Penguin, Frank Gorshin as the Riddler, Alan Napier as Alfred, no relation to Jack Napier, and Neil Hamilton as Commissioner Gordon, among others. Catwoman, however, in the movie has a completely different face, as she was played by a different actress. In the Batman TV show, the part of Catwoman was played by the ever-beautiful Julie Newmar, who was great in the role and had amazing sexual chemistry with Adam West's Batman. However, Newmar wasn't aware of the movie when it went into production, so she signed on to star in a British comedy romp called Monsieur Lecoq. When Newmar found out about the Batman movie, she tried to get out of her ties to Monsieur Lecoq, but it wasn't in time, as at that stage a replacement actress was cast in the part, with the former winner of Miss America, Lee Merriweather, who is also brilliant in the role and equally has amazing chemistry with Adam West. And after the Batman movie, she would go on to be nominated for 2 Golden Globes, thanks to the TV show Barnaby Jones. However though, to add insult to injury for Newmar, the production of Monsieur Lecoq fell through with the movie being scrapped. So, poor Newmar didn't get to star in either movies. What a bat blow. Number 6. Adam West wanted more Bruce Wayne. In Batman the movie, there is a huge chunk in the middle of the film which doesn't feature any Batman, with the focus being put on Bruce Wayne, where we see Wayne wine and dine Miss Kitka, aka Catwoman, whose real name is like a paragraph long, so I'm not even going to attempt to try and say it.
My name is Kitania Irenia Tatania Karenska Alesov.
Which leads to the subplot of Bruce Wayne being kidnapped by the villains. This was at West's request, as he agreed to do the movie as long as he could have more screen time as Bruce Wayne, which I guess makes sense, as throughout the series he spends most of the time wearing the Batman cowl. So I would imagine that as an actor, it would be nice for him to finally perform as himself, so people can actually see his face. As for that infamous bat cowl, well, any Batman mask that has eyebrows painted on it is pretty awesome in my book. Number 5. Filming. The shoot for Batman the movie started in April 1966 and would go on to last a total of 28 days. The filming was mainly filmed around California, including filming at 20th Century Fox sound stages. Many of the sets used for the TV show were also used for the movie. The interior of the Penguin's submarine was actually a recycled set from the 1964 movie Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. There was, however, a near-fatal accident which took place on the set, which involves the end fight scene where, just like the TV show, Batman and Robin engage in good old fisticuffs with the villains and their goons, while comic book pals and bams appear. During the filming of that scene, one of the stuntmen playing a henchman dived into the water and hit his head on a metal stud at the bottom of the tank, which left him knocked out cold, of which he had to be quickly retrieved and rushed to hospital. But thankfully he was okay. Holy headache, Batman! Okay, I'm sorry, I just had to do it. Number 4. More Bat Toys. To be fair, the Batman movie is basically a movie-length extended episode of the TV show. Now that's not putting it down, but it looks just like the TV show, and even uses many of the recycled stock footage that was filmed for the TV show, namely the Batmobile driving out of the Batcave. However, there were a few new additions added specifically for the movie, like the Batbike, which would go on to be used for the TV show in subsequent series, and the Batcopter, in which the helicopter had to be flown by professional pilots wearing Batman and Robin's costumes. And then of course there's the Batboat, the real showstopper. The Batboat was actually built by a company called the Gladstone Boat Company, and they agreed to make the Batboat for the movie on the conditions that the Batman movie had its premiere at the Gladstone Boat Company headquarters in Austin, Texas. Incidentally, Gladstone also provided the boat that we see James Bond use in the Bond film Live and Let Die. So I guess these new vehicles do help the movie feel more spectacular. Number 3. Proposed sequel. There was an idea of making a second Batman movie to be released in between season 2 and 3 of the TV show, much in the same way the Batman movie came out between season 1 and 2. The second movie was to see the introduction of Batgirl, as well as a Batplane. And there are even rumours that it was to feature other Batman characters not seen in the show, like Two-Face and Poison Ivy. But the idea of a second Batman movie was dropped. Now, there are 2 reasons offered by IMDb as to why the second movie never took place. One is because during the broadcast of season 2, viewing figures started to drop, which led to budget cuts, of which the production couldn't have afforded a second movie. The other is due to racial concerns, as at that stage, Eartha Kitt was cast as Catwoman. And if that's true, then yeah, that's really sad. Also, they thought that they might have to recast the Riddler as well, and it was felt that it might not be well received having established characters being played by new actors. So who knows what the true story is? I mean, after all, this is IMDb, which can sometimes not be very reliable. Not all the time, but sometimes. So instead, a short pilot was filmed to introduce the Batgirl character before the broadcast of season 3. However, the Batman 1966 universe would finally get more movie-length entries, but not until 2016 and 2017, in the form of 2 animated adventures, with Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders and Batman vs. Two-Face, which finally introduced Two-Face into the Batman 66 universe. Both Adam West and Burt Ward lend their voices to their Batman and Robin characters, and it's just great hearing their voices and seeing them go on new adventures. But sadly, Batman vs. Two-Face marked West's final performance as Batman, as he sadly passed away not too long after. Number 2. The red-suited Batman. So it's here we get to the movie posters for Batman the Movie, and a lot of these posters were great, and you can see they were really going for a comic book look, while maintaining the campy atmosphere of the movie. However, there is a weird anomaly involving Batman's costume in some of the posters, as with some of the marketing, they changed Batman's costume to give him a red costume with a black mask, cape, gloves and boots. And yeah, it's a little weird seeing a red Batman. It just looks, well, really bizarre. Like you're looking at it and you know that it just doesn't look right. I don't know for the life of me why it was decided to give Batman a red costume. I can only think that whoever designed the poster thought that it would look more visually striking if Batman was red. When Batman the Movie came out in some DVD releases, they made him blue. And then here for the Australian release, they completely removed Robin. Seriously, look, there is no sign of Robin anywhere. Hello, Robin. Hello. And to add even more confusion to this mystery, the Italian poster for Batman the Movie doesn't even feature Batman. You know, the guy the movie is named after? Weird. I mean, yeah, it's got Robin, but no Batman. Oh well, put the Italian poster and the Australian DVD together, and then you'll have the dynamic duo together. It's just weird having a Batman poster without Batman. Number 1. Batman Unleashed. Despite the fact that Batman the Movie has gone on to be a treasured classic by both fans of the TV show and the Batman mythos in general, upon its release it was only really moderately successful. I guess it brought in the fans of the TV show, but no one else. It would later go on to make more money in rentals. Batman the Movie is a unique fan experience, as it acts as a fascinating curiosity to modern fans of Batman, ones that are used to seeing a dark and brooding Batman, a tortured soul living in a violent environment. A Batman universe that punches and bleeds and hurts. Whereas Batman the Movie represents a time when Batman was more carefree and colourful. It's often said that the 1966 interpretation of Batman was a spoof of the Batman mythology. And yes, in theory that's true, especially when comparing it to the modern dark and brooding Batman. But in reality, Batman the Movie is just a representation of what Batman was back then. Batman the Movie actually was a very faithful adaptation of the comics at the time, in which in the 50s and 60s Batman was colourful, cheesy and tongue-in-cheek. That's just the way the mythos was. It was really in the 70s and 80s that Batman transformed into the serious image that we now know. So with that, Batman the movie acts as an interesting insight into what Batman once was, when it was okay to be silly and goofy with lots of comical gags. It stands as a time capsule to the Batman days of old, and it's for that reason alone every Batman fan should watch this movie. If anything, for a history lesson, to see how at one time, one of the world's darkest and brutal superheroes was actually a fun, wacky oddball caper. It's utterly ridiculous and nonsensical, but that just adds to its charm and appeal, and it's for that reason alone many people love it. You just have to know where Batman was at the time to fully appreciate this movie. It is also the very first theatrical Batman movie, a proud achievement that Batman the movie will always hold. So if you're tired of the dark angst of modern Batman and want something more lighthearted, then check out Batman the movie from 1966. Just don't expect anything serious, but rather a movie that doesn't take itself seriously at all, but instead winks at you, the audience, as if to say, yes, this whole thing is silly and ridiculous, but let's have a laugh and have some fun while we're at it. Anyway, I'm Minty, and be ready for the next episode. Same Minty time, same Minty channel. See ya! This is choking me! Ugh.